All right, the current administration are a bunch of emotionally stunted idiots. Seriously, they are. These people are not people that you want in charge of anything, particularly the United States government. Karoline Leavitt is a special case of crazy. She's an insufferable twat.
Totally.
Nobody likes her. And she has zero professionalism, and she likes to play mean girl from the pulpit, and she thinks it's fun and cute. And all of the emotionally stunted members of the personality cult go along with this. Now she's screenshotted a tweet with a journalist from the Huffington Post. And the text exchange went as follows. The Huffington Post journalist texted the press secretary, "Is the president aware of the significance of Budapest? In 1994, Russia promised in Budapest not to invade Ukraine if it gave up the nuclear weapons it inherited when the Soviet Union dissolved. Does he not see why Ukraine might object to this site? Who suggested Budapest? Thanks." And then she responds, Karoline Leavitt, the KKK secretary, the White House press secretary, also the KKK secretary, responds, "Your mom did." And the journalist responds, "Is this funny to you?" And she responds, "It's funny to me that you actually consider yourself a journal. You are far left hack who nobody takes seriously, including your colleagues in the media. They just don't tell you that to your face. Stop texting me your disingenuous, biased, and bullshit questions." This is ridiculous. So then she screenshots that and then tweets it like any mature professional would do.
Sure.
For context, SV Date of the Huffington Post is not a journalist interested in facts. He is a left-wing hack who has consistently attacked President Trump for years and constantly bombards my phone with Democrat talking points. Just take a look at SV Date's feed. It reads like an anti-Trump personal diary. Here's my full response to his inquiry. Activists who masquerade as real reporters do a disservice to the profession. Okay, this is utter insanity. It's beyond immaturity. It's sophomoric. It's juvenile. It's sorority girl, mean girl shit. And this has no interest, no place, no business in the federal government. This is an embarrassment. She is a stain, but of course she works for a convicted felon. So for me to think, or any American to think, that this is a decent person, Karoline Leavitt, who masquerades with her cross and defends a convicted felon, defends pedophiles, keeps cover for pedophiles, for us to think that she has any decency or decorum would be a fool's errand on our part.
No, I completely agree. And here's the thing. She posted that on her account because she thought she owned the libs. She thought this made her look good. And I thought, what a misguided twat. She is unbelievably unprofessional. And you're right, nobody likes her. And you know how I know that? I went down the whole KKK rabbit hole for her. Everybody has hated her from jump. That makes me feel a little bit better. But I'm just like, and I know she only does this for an audience of one, but what an embarrassment to professional journalists. And she's talking about, you're not a real journalist. You fucking have Benny Johnson in the White House press pool. So please spare us the high regards for journalism and how it's valued by this administration. I was appalled beyond belief.
The Republican Party is an absolute cult right now. And for them to not stand up to this is our forward-facing representation of our government to the media. And for them not to step up and do anything tells you what a personality cult this is, all for the frail, fragile ego of a demented person. And here is Representative Chip Moore with something that just is stunning to hear politicians in a country that's supposed to be secular state from a podium at a press conference with little Moses Mike Grinder Johnson nodding along. Play the clip.
Is the Marxists, the radicals, and the Islamists, the Democratic Party promoted this weekend. They cannot handle the truth. The truth is that there is a king, and that king is Jesus.
Oh,
And the president has been willing to say it. His administration has been willing to say it. And Charlie Kirk was willing to say it, and he got killed for it.
You've got to be kidding me.
This is bananas. These people are in a cult. And as my mother told me, the louder the Christian, the bigger the hypocrite. So you can rest assured that Chip Roy, that his Google search history is probably a sight to behold. It's probably the most disgusting filth you've ever seen in your life. And here's the deal. I don't want to yuck anyone's yum, but I'm not the hypocrite that stands on this microphone and acts like I have the moral high ground. I don't give a shit if Chip Roy likes to get freaky and get on Grindr at night. I don't care about that. What I care about is that he is weaponizing his faith against all people. He's defending an unrepentant racist. And so, yeah, Charlie Kirk might have been all for Jesus, but guess what? If all of that's true and Jesus in heaven is all of that is true, Charlie Kirk, if he made it there, is going to be shocked as shit to find out that Jesus is brown skinned. And Mike Johnston standing there, nodding along when these people are lying and covering up for pedophiles, lying and covering up for a crime syndicate masquerading as an administration this is horrific. When Nixon, and the stuff that Trump's doing makes Nixon look like child's play.
Pales.
Republicans had decency and they stood up for integrity and for the Constitution and for democracy. And they told Nixon, resign or we will impeach you. These guys prop up a dementia-ridden, diaper-wearing, swollen cankle, needs a man bra, needs compression socks, needs a padded cell and a straitjacket. They prop up this fucking freak all day, every day, and they do it in the name of Jesus.
Here's the thing. If they gave a shit about the country, they would know that there is a separation of church and state, the emoluments clause, all of these things, but they don't give a shit because they're Christian nationalists. And it irritates the fuck out of me because it's such, these were Islamic and, they're just signaling and fear mongering to their base with just racist terms for people and making it sound like that any religion other than Christianity is, bad in some way. It's so appalling.
Well, and also what's also insidious about it is that this is what our adversaries want, is for friction within the United States electorate. And so when you have the Republican Party saying that the Democrats are Islamists, Marxists, terrorists, which everybody knows is total bullshit.
Right.
But when the Republican Party is saying that, you have dipshits sitting at home that watch Newsmax, OAN, Fox News that are looking to hate somebody because they can't get ahead in life, because the Republican Party has been lying to them for decades. Their megachurch pastors have been ripping them off. The federal government's been ripping them off. The Republican Party has lied to them about family values and about trickle-down economics, and it is so insidious. Moving along, here's little Moses Mike Grinder Johnson defending Trump taking a shit on Americans.
So you say that the Democrats had a Hate America rally, but what does it say that the President of the United States over the weekend released a video of him pooping on the American people?
The president uses social media to make a point. You can argue he's probably the most effective person who's ever used social media for that. He is using satire to make a point. He is not calling for the murder of his political opponents, and that's what these people are doing. I mean, they're in one of these photos. I think there's a picture of the president hanging in effigy by a noose on one of these. The one on the far end. I mean, it's unconscionable.
Okay. So what they're trying to do right now, Megyn Kelly just did this. They're trying, out of all of the millions of people that went out nationwide, they're finding 2 or 3 incidents where they're like, oh my God, look at this. When the fact of the matter is, just go watch some of the footage from January 6th. Right. Kanks would have been completely fine if they would have killed Mike Pence because he didn't give a shit. He would have been completely fine if they killed Nancy Pelosi because he didn't give a shit. The late Charlie Kirk wanted the person who assaulted Nancy Pelosi's husband to be bailed out of jail, and he commended this criminal. The Republican Party, led by Little Pipsqueak, Moses Mike Grinder Johnson, is a party that protects pedophiles, a party of DL demon queens, a party that during the day acts all sanctimony and at night they're eating ass. These men are not alpha men. These are a bunch of suppressed, emotionally regressed, emotionally stunted freaks. And they stand up there and lie all day, every day, and they use the Bible to do it. It is disgusting. It is abhorrent. And we need to keep pressure on these fucking dorks. We cannot lose our country to these freaks. It is unbelievable. They're either kissing ass to Vladimir Putin or kissing ass to Kanks, who then kisses ass to Vladimir Putin. We have built this country over 250 years, and I'll be goddamned if we're going to hand it over to the Stephen Millers and the little Moses Mike Grinder Johnsons of the world and little Smokey, the failed drag queen.
It's so unbelievable to me that he gets up there being 3 feet shorter than everybody else on that stage. And he talks about how Donald Trump, he can't even condemn him for having an airplane in an AI video take a shit on US citizens. And here's the thing, because he is a terrible person, he will protect pedophiles until they put him into a situation he can't get out of. And here's the thing, he's cruel. He's a cruel motherfucker. And you know how I know that? He has voted to take away benefits from 40% of his constituents in Trump's big, beautiful bill. And he doesn't give a shit as long as Trump's happy.
I think they have to have something on little Moses Mike Grinder Johnson because he's such a little lapdog. He just is like a little Chihuahua or a little Pomeranian that just sits there with a shock collar on while Trump just juggles his balls around because he does whatever.
He does whatever.
Whatever Trump says, he walks up and he defends it. He has no conviction of his own, no personal opinion of his own. This guy is so malleable and such an inept, impotent leader. It's breathtaking that he ascended to be Speaker of the House. It is absolutely an indictment on the MAGA cult of personality that this is their best foot forward. Kanks and little Moses Mike Grinder Johnson and the failed drag queen Little Smokey. Those are their best foot forward. These three freak shows, that's the best they've got. And I'm going to leave you all with this. Pumps and I have been talking about this a lot. The Trump administration is murdering Colombian fishermen in Colombia. And the Colombian president has called out Trump, put up this tweet. Breaking, Colombian President Gustavo Petro exposes Donald Trump for murdering a lifelong fisherman with his Caribbean strikes, adding that Americans are not his enemies. And the problem is with Trump, who does not understand the concept of humanity. And this is the way leaders speak.
Right.
And what concerns me so much is, number one, the United States is just wagging the dog because they can't get involved in the Ukraine-Russia war, which we should be defending Ukraine with everything we have as part of our NATO agreement to protect our allies. But he won't because Putin has him compromised. And so they want a war. And so they're messing with the Americas and our adversaries, Xi Jinping and Vladimir Putin and Bibi Netanyahu. These guys are authoritarians. And what kept them at bay was the United States military. But we are so weak. We have a total dipshit, Pete Hegseth, another great foot forward for the Republican Party. You guys, these are their best and brightest. And they're killing innocent people. They're kidnapping innocent people in the streets. And this is the United States of America. And I'm not saying our foreign policy has always been on the up and up. I'm abundantly aware of a lot of the problems of American foreign policy. But I believe that, and I believed that we keep pushing and we try to get better and better and more transparency. This is so regressive. This is so devastating that we are just blowing up boats and that they're putting the U.S. military at risk doing this. It's just so unbelievable.
Well, and it's a war crime. I mean, this is criminal behavior, international criminal court behavior. You do not go into somebody else's territory and murder their citizens. And he can sit there all day long and say, oh, well, they're drug dealers and all that. Bullshit. Prove it. If you could prove it, you wouldn't have released the other boat people that you captured back. You would have tried and convicted him, but you have no fucking evidence because you're a liar and you're doing this for your own gain. Whatever it is he wants something out of all of this. And it's not just to make Pete Hegseth's dick hard that he gets to bomb something. You know, they have people resigning in the military because they serve the Constitution, not corruption. And these guys that are doing this for him, Pete Hegseth, he doesn't have presidential immunity. He can go to fucking jail for this.
And so can Marco Rubio, who has given up our informants to Bukele, a dictator. And I think a lot of this is just my opinion, is because they want to deport mass deportations and they want to send them to these countries. And in their base, anti-Hispanic, anti-Latino rhetoric, bombing boats in the Caribbean excites them. They have eroded so much in the base that the base believes that Russia is our ally.
Right.
The base believes that all like South Americans are our enemies because they don't understand foreign policy, because they get horrific news and propaganda from these channels. And shame on Lachlan and Rupert Murdoch for the absolute butcher job they've done on the American public. Not all of us, but I would say about 30% are so radicalized, and they sit around, they should be in retirement, and they sit around and just hate on people because Fox News feeds their default setting of cruelty and racism. All right, that's all we have for this episode. Buy our book. It's called Life is a Lazy Susan of Shit Sandwiches. The link is right below in the show notes. Make sure you subscribe to our channel, and we'll be back later with more news.